Peace, peace, peace. What's good? What's good? I have a very important, gentle reminder for you right now because I'm almost certain that almost most of us have struggled with this. And I feel like we just need to nip it in the butt right now. I'm here to remind you that it does not matter if something may have not seemed to work out, because at the end of it, everything is always working out regardless. But it doesn't matter if something seems to not have worked out for one person, two people, three people, your whole family, all of your friends, your entire school, every single person that you know. It doesn't matter if it didn't work out for millions of other people. That does not mean that it cannot work out for you. And the only way to navigate through that is believing that you can be that 1%. You can be that 0.000000001% that something works out for. And you'll never know unless you give yourself the chance to believe it, to even take one step into seeing if it'll work out for you. And I say this too because that reminds me how before you even give yourself a chance to see if you're that 0.0000001% of person that something will work out for, because you've seen it not work out for all of these other people, or because you've received and allowed yourself to receive these opinions of other people based on their own experience, that, oh no, this happened, that is not, and that's not possible, there's no way that this could be, it was a big mess, it was a huge migraine, it was a huge headache, it was stressful, whatever, their entire list of how they chose to receive that experience for their own self, that's playing a role for their own self. Because you choose 0234, because you choose to listen to other people's experiences and take that as your own, you don't even take the next step from get to be able to start from the 0 and go from the 2 to the 3 to the 4. And I feel like that's the beautiful thing about seeing how things, observing other people's experiences, where it can take you from the 0 to the 2. You can literally leap from the 0 to the 2 by observing other people, let me be clear, observing other people's experiences, not as your own, but as their own, and as a learning, growing experience for your own self, and take yourself from the 0 to the 2. But if you stay at the 0, you're never going to go nowhere, and you're going to be another one of those stories that either didn't give themselves a chance to take a step and see what happens, or took the step and believed everything that everyone else was saying, that it's not going to work out, it's impossible, there's no way, how are you going to do it? Look at what happened to this person. Look at every single other person who's tried to do it and how they failed. Look at everything that's standing in between you. Look at you, the resources that you don't have, blah, 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 blah. All of these excuses, all of these lack and limiting perceptions. 4, 3, 5. I know I've been that person. In some ways, and in other ways, no. I'm definitely not living in any of that energy. I haven't been living in that existence for a while now. And that's also why I'm here to remind you, because I see that reflection of a program that I used to have within me, within others. And I see that lack limited mindset. I see how they think that, oh, because it failed for every single other person, then it's going to fail for me too. Or because there's hardly any out there, that means that I'm also going to be one of those hardlies that gets the hardly. Just to give an example, right now I'm looking for a place because the lease is coming to an end. And here in Tulum, you hardly, just a small example, here in Tulum, it's probably, and I'm saying this because I told someone else too, who's also looking for a place. And I was like, yes, it could be that there's 90% of all of the places here in Tulum that don't have a gas stove. But you can be that 10%. And I know that for me, I'm one of those 10% because that's how I just attract things and know it, and I believe it fully in my existence. I just know that's what's for me is already done and signed, and the order is already there. It's it's already been arranged for me. I believe that I'm one of the very few that everything works out for me regardless. And even then, because even then, when something doesn't seem to work out, I'm like, nah, that worked out for me. Literally, if something, let's say, I don't know, an example, uh, literally, if there's a block that happens, um, I don't know. Sometimes I think so grand, and I'm trying to like bring my mind into like creating a very small example that's simple. Yeah, literally anything you can, something happens, I'm like, okay, that's perfect. I wasn't meant to go. If I don't know, like it's like there's so many just fluttering in my mind because literally there's nothing in me that stops and says that didn't work out for me. I never think that way. I'm always on to the next thought, that the next belief, or within that same belief system, that no matter what it is that seems to be, what actually is in the beingness is everything is all working out for me. And I I do not at all let myself be swayed from someone else's experience telling me that this is not going to work out. Look at how this happened for this person. How is it that you're going to be able to do that? You can't be thinking this way. You can't believe that you can do this. How, blah, 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 blah. Literally, all it is lack and limitation. All it is placing lack on us and our power. All it is placing limitation on the power that lives and dwells within us that we also are. And it's the fear of others that have, a lot of times it's coming from a place of love because they, in their perception, something didn't work out for them, and it probably was very emotional experience. It probably must have been a very tough experience to experience. And I'm sure that they don't want you to experience the same turmoil, the same emotions, the same struggle, the same whatever it is. But that's coming from their own limited perception and through the energy of fear. But the energy of love and the energy that source lives and dwells within us, the most highest power that there is, that created us and that knows every single crevice and corner and particle and grain of energy that there is, always finds a way and always knows exactly why what happens as it happens. And I literally am always trusting and believing that no matter what, a way will be made, just like the water. It can clash and clash and clash in between rocks. I don't know if you can see. It can clash and clash and clash in between rocks, trying to get through. Clash. I don't even know what I'm doing with these rocks here, but like, there's clashes of rocks where the water's trying to make a way and make a way and make a way, and slowly and surely it can chip through these rocks. It can chip through these rocks and make a way. Water is so gentle, yet can also be as sharp as a knife. It's our human mind, it's our human brain that has been conditioned by our own free will. By our own free will. It's not pointing the finger at anything else that conditioned us. It's through our own free will that we have allowed ourselves to be conditioned into thinking that something is not possible. 11, 12, 1, 1, 1, 2. That things aren't always aligning for us. That this is all that there is as far as these 5 human senses go, as far as this material that we can see, taste, touch, and hear, and smell. But there's so much more beyond. There's so much more beyond the veil that can happen and be rearranged for you in your life. And the more that you harness that energy within you, that knowingness, that little voice inside of you that's telling you everything is working out for you. This isn't the end. Hang tight because you're still on the ride. You haven't come off the ride yet. Hang tight because everything is unfolding for you exactly as it's meant to, and better. And better. I've gotten used to affirming and declaring things in that way, where I receive whatever it is that's meant for me and better. And better. And so that's why if there is some kind of block that happens in one place, I know that this block is here because I may not be meant to go through this path. And that's what I say when no matter what happens, I'm always where, okay, that was meant to happen. That's working out for me for a reason. Let's say I'm trying to go down this path. And then all of us, but I didn't know that there was going to be these 2 rocks here that I can't get through. And in my mind, every time something happens, like an experience happens where I reach a block, a threshold, I'm like, okay, source is showing me something here. Redirection is protection. So either I'm going to find a way to make it over here. Something is going to appear. Something is going to come into my mind with a solution. Or if not, it's because I was not meant to go through there. And I'm not going to force trying to go if I'm not feeling it. And I always just allow myself to feel what I'm feeling. I allow myself to tune in. Okay, I communicate. I literally communicate and have a conversation in my mind. Okay, if I'm meant to go through here, show me, present a solution, give me a way to make it through. Bring somebody here, show me a tool that I can use. Show me that I meant to go through this. I literally conversate in my mind. And I say, if not, I know that there's something better that's about to show up for me. I don't force wanting to go through here. I trust that. Okay, maybe I thought I was meant to go through this path, but source is up here. Source is up here hovering through this entire scene, knowing everything going on in my existence, if I were to cross and if I were to not. And so I trust that what is meant for me and better is what's going to align, not what I think I'm meant to do. I might think I'm meant to go that way. And very well, I always believe that if I was taken this far, it's because I was meant to make it this far for a reason. Maybe because this is the way that Source knew that it would be able to bring me to this point, thinking I was going to go to this path. But Source has a whole new surprise at this very moment for me. And that's literally the way that I always think and believe and feel it to be true. And that's the way it always presents itself in my life. Literally, my saying, not my saying, it's not my saying, but the way that I have allowed myself to believe is first I believe it and then I see it. And every time I believe it, I always see it. Or better, I don't even have to see it. 555, because when you believe something so fully, you're at the point where it's like, I don't even have to see it anymore because I just know it. I just already know it. Literally, you don't even have to have, it's like, just like they say, you can trick your mind into experiencing something and it won't know the difference whether it was actually a lived experience or something that you experienced truly. My storage got full, so the video cut off. And I feel like that also serves as a message. Don't cut yourself off before you begin listening and looking to see how something worked out for someone else before you give yourself the chance to see how it's going to work out for you. It doesn't matter if 99.99% of the people tried. You can be that 0.0001% that is the one that it all works out for. And it all begins with you believing that to be true, with you remembering who you are and the power that lives within you. When we place these lack and limitations, we're placing lack and limitation on the most highest power that there is, on the creator of all. And that just doesn't even make sense. And I say it all the time. Literally, actually, no. Yeah, I was thinking imperfect, but I'm also thinking of impossible. Imperfect is I'm perfect. But that's not the word I was thinking of. For some reason, it came to my mind. Impossible is literally I'm possible. I am possible, but your perception of it needs to change. It doesn't need to change, but you can tweak your perception because it's all in the perception of whether you see impossible to be not possible, or you very well see the clear and concise message that says, I'm possible. Believe that everything that you feel within your heart, a calling to go towards, that everything is all going to work out for you exactly as it's meant to and better. And every time you think you're coming at a crossroad and there's a block, redirection is protection. Believe in these moments. It's in these moments when when you've reached a standstill, when you've reached a block, when you've reached a moment meeting someone that's going to tell you, oh, I tried that too, it didn't work out. Oh, have you seen all these other people who have tried to do the same thing and it didn't work out for them? Look at where they ended up. It's in these moments that you come across these characters who are here to see for you yourself, to see and decide for yourself, to see if you're going to decide for yourself, to listen to this character that is coming out of lack and limitation and fear mentality, or if you're going to decide in that moment, no, it doesn't matter to me how many people it didn't work out for. It doesn't matter to me I mean, not truly, like, not like careless, but, or heartless, but I'm saying where you don't let it affect the path that you know you're meant to go on. It's like everyone else has walked this path, but the way and the timing, the divine timing, and the way that you are walking this path is not the same as everyone else. And everyone else was probably meant to walk this, it was more than likely, not probably, whoever walked this path before you was meant to walk it and go through all these barriers because they were probably cleaning the pathway for you. It's literally like my mind just always comes up with scenarios that is just like, well, this happened because this. It's always a it's always a scenario where everything's always working out. Like nothing stops me even in my own mind. I mean, it happens, it does, but I've been able to train it enough where sometimes even the lack of limitations that want to peek back up in my mind, I'm like, no, no. There's no way. Everything's always working out. It's like I just scooch it away like a broom. Literally, I just sweep it out of my mind. I just sweep those thoughts out of my mind. Like literally, I feel like that's a great way to kind of go about this as a little exercise. Every time you have a little fear peep in, just sweep it out of your mind. But also not necessarily with the fear, because the fear is a guidance. If there's a character coming to your existence and telling you, no, but this, no, but what if that, all this fear, this is also a guide letting you know you are on the right path because now you've reached this threshold within this game that we're in. It's like these in a game, like literally in a game, there's characters that were created to keep you from getting to the next level, to keep you from going further into the same level. And it's up to you to defeat these characters who are trying to stray you off the finishing of the game. And it's not exactly like a finish line. I'm just speaking it in metaphors of a game because this life actually is, think of it as a game. It is a game. And it's up to you to allow these characters that were created in this game to see if you're going to remember who you are, remember the tools that you're carrying with you of everything that you need to get you to get you through this level, to get you to the next level, to continue on throughout the whole duration of the rest of the game. That you have no idea when it ends because it's endless. It's an endless leveled game. And everyone's at their own level, and no one can see whose level anyone else is at because that doesn't really matter. Everyone's on their own path. But it's up to you if you're going to decide to let these characters make you turn around in your game and be like, okay, yeah, no, I'm not going to go that way because this character's telling me it's scary over there. And this character's telling me that everyone else who's tried to go past this level has died in the game, has had to start over, has gotten sent back to level 1 or whatever it is. I'm just speaking metaphorically. But literally, I feel like this is actually what happens sometimes in our lives. We let it's like if it's quite literally like if you listen to this fear and then just walk away from what you're already meant to go through. And when you realize that just right, it's like if you could see behind, it's like if it's I hope you can hear me still. Let's say there's this character, right? And I'm going to do it this way so you can see. They're standing right here. And you're meant to go this way, right? You're meant to go behind this. And behind this, it's all of this magic, all of this beauty. It might still be a little bit further ahead. You might have a few little a few other little things to get through here. But beyond this, it's all beauty. It's all everything you could ever imagine and better. Because remember, and better is what we're adding all the time. And so you're right here and you're coming, you're rolling, you're chilling, you're coming on your path. And then all of a sudden you come across this character of fear. And they're telling you, nope, you better not go past this limit because everyone who's ever crossed crashes and falls and they never come back. And you're here at this moment, this deciding factor, to see if you're gonna let and listen to this fear outside of you telling you, no, don't come, don't come. Everyone else, no one's made it through here. No one's made it past. And if anyone has, it's only 1%. Are you gonna let yourself think that you are not a part of this 1% or that you can't be a part of this 1%? Are you gonna believe that you're that small to not be one of these 1%? Because the moment that you allow yourself to realize this is just a guide letting me know I am on the right path and I'm meant to supersede this fear. I'm meant to supersede this fear because everything that I went through over here, it gave me all the tools that I need that's over here. All these experiences over here, you're carrying an invisible backpack that has now prepared you for this moment. But it's up to you to choose. Are you going to let yourself turn around because this fear character told you, no, 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 blah, 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 fear this, fear that, limit this, lack this? Are you just going to allow yourself to just go back over here where you've already been and where you know that there's no more growth for you at a different level? Are you going to say, no, I'm a part of this 1%. Everything always works out for me. And I feel guided intuitively to go and push through the fear. You're welcome to come with me, fear, if you want. But I'm going anyway. And you can choose to go, leave the fear behind and say, I'm leaving you here, fear. Or you can choose to be like, I don't know, fear, about it. I'm going to take you with me. I'm going to take you with me, but we're going. We're going to go. Doesn't matter if you take the fear with you or if you leave it behind. Regardless, as long as you're making it, you're believing in yourself and the power that lives and dwells within you, and remembering that, remembering who you are, it doesn't matter if you take the fear with you. It doesn't matter if you leave it. What matters is that you decided to believe in yourself, that you decided, 1144, that I am a part of this collective, that everything works out for me, that I'm always guided and protected, that I have this huge invisible shield around me that nothing can get through. It's like if we're inside this little ball of protection. I always call on my protection bubble all the time. And I know that it's like if I picture myself inside this protection bubble and nothing that wants to cause me harm can come through here, because these are guards. This is my spiritual protection right here. Nothing can come within my spiritual protection bubble. And this also reminds us that we're never alone. So it's up to you to decide to let other people's fear and experiences stop you from going down the path you know in your heart and soul and spirit that you are meant to walk through. Or are you going to just walk through it? Are you going to take the fear with you and go through it with the fear? You don't need to leave the fear behind, because I know it can be difficult. But maybe at the next level, maybe for now you take the fear with you and you say, all right, I'm scared, but I'm going to go anyway. Maybe at the next level, you'll be more prepared to be like, you know what? I was scared for no reason. Everything worked out for me so beautifully and better that now, 1331, now I see that everything is a reflection of who I am within me. And because I now live and dwell within this power that is me, that I am, at the next level, you might just say, fear, I'm leaving you here. I'm leaving you here because I know that I don't need to be continuing to carry any fear with me. I don't need to continue to listen to all this fear that people want to place on me from their own experiences. I am going to be that one. I believe I am that one that everything works out for. And the more that you live in that power, the more you go showing other people who may be watching you from the sidelines, who are coming behind here on these other levels that are like, that person did it. They did it. I can be that 1% too. You plant these seeds behind you. You leave these trickle of seeds behind you everywhere you go for the next person to pick up on that vibration, pick up on that frequency and that energy that, yes, I can, yes, I will, because everything always works out for me and better because I remember who I am, because I remember the source that created me and that lives within me and around me and knows everything that is for my greatest good. 1515. So I remind you, don't let anybody else's experience or opinions or fears keep you from thinking and believing and embodying that everything is always working out for you and you can be that 1%. I remind you that you are. Receive the changes, 555. Embrace all the changes always, because redirection is always protection and you can never ever be strayed off your path. Signed and sealed. Peace and bliss.